a big twist in the Garmin versus Apple battle here.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Hi, welcome back. It's Adrian the Mountain Man. Just over a week ago, I ran the Shakori 40-mile Ultramarathon. At the event, they also have a 40K, a 40-mile relay, and just a flat-out 4-mile race. The layout of the race is, it's in a campground music festival area, and you're doing 4-mile loops. You kind of wind all the way through the property, you see the whole property, and so you're just doing that loop over and over again. I thought that this would be a good opportunity. This was my first ultra marathon since buying the Apple Watch Ultra. I also have the Garmin Fenix 6X. I've run in Garmin for 15 plus years. So I knew it wouldn't be a problem for the Garmin, but I have been wearing the Apple Watch Ultra more day to day. I rarely wear the Garmin anymore, like just around. I used to wear that all the time. And so I wanted to see what the Apple Watch Ultra could do, both in terms of GPS accuracy, but also could the battery last? I know a lot of people, a lot of ultra marathoners are thinking that, yes, it's better than the standard Apple Watch, but it's not really good enough to last an ultra marathon. Through training with it, I knew it could last 5 or 6 hours, but I wasn't sure if it could last around the 8-hour, 9-hour time frame, which I thought I could do the 40-miler in. Throughout the race, between the two watches, one got off. It kind of took me a while to figure out what was happening, but by halfway, I knew something was wrong. I ended up running the first half of the race much faster than I thought I was. I've got a few clips here, so check out this footage as I slowly figure out what's going on, and then I'll come back and I'll talk more of the details of the differences between the two watches.
I'm wearing both my watches. I just wanted to see if I could do it with the Apple Watch. And the battery is doing okay. I'm, well, like, yeah, 85%. Let's see, an hour and 21 minutes in, so I think it'll be okay, but the mileage is already off. I can still get notifications and listen to music and stuff like that. So yeah, this one dropped my average from like 11:10 or something down to 10:56, so a little bit quicker. I also realized I'm at, on my watch, 18.3. So I think my distance is undershot by my Garmin. So what that means is I'm probably going a little bit faster than I think I am. I'm at 11:34 pace for this lap, so still under 12. But I have a feeling I'm going to start slowing down pretty quickly after this. But almost to the halfway point. Yeah, I'm 11:13 average for the first half of the race, so gives me a little bit of leeway. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep it up, average under 12, but we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, a big twist in the Garmin versus Apple battle here. So I'm halfway. I still 65% on my Apple Watch Ultra, but early in the race they got it out of sync, and I just thought the Apple Watch was like not tracking well, because it would take longer to get to a mile than the Garmin. But I just went to halfway, and my Garmin said like 19 miles, but the Apple Watch was dead on 20. I thought I was running 11:18 pace, and I was running 10:42 pace. So the good news is, well, I don't know if it's good or not. I have more leeway in the second half, but essentially I was on 7-hour pace instead of 8-hour pace, so I might have overcooked it, but we'll see. Now that I have more leeway, I'm gonna walk a little bit more. Still try to push the downhills, but not as hard. Yeah, thanks for. All right, almost the truck for lap 5, end of lap 5. I know that the Apple splits are right, but I'm just gonna keep using the Garmin splits just for consistency. As far as the Garmin is concerned, this is 11:59 lap, 11:59 pace, but that included a bathroom stop. So I'm still under 12, but so Garmin says my average is 11:21 for the whole race so far, but the Apple Watch is telling me 10:48 pace. So still under that 8-hour goal. I'm not gonna try and push for the 7. I think that'd be crazy. Yeah, I had no idea I was running 10 something pace. So no wonder at the beginning he was like, I gotta slow down, we're going too fast. And I was like, oh, okay. Which is fine. I figured he was gonna do his own thing anyway, but I didn't realize that I was going that fast. So it hasn't bit me yet, but I'm starting to feel it about 24 miles in. Well, you know what happened? I used my Garmin and my Apple Watch. Well, I've used Garmin a lot, so I trusted the Garmin. And then at mile 20, the Garmin was like 19 and the Apple Watch was at 20. So I was actually going a lot faster than I thought it was. Oh, wow. Yeah, so I've just been trying to hang on.
As you can see, the Garmin got off the distance pretty early in the race, but I didn't trust it. I thought the Garmin was right, and I thought the Apple Watch was wrong. But before I go into the numbers and the details, let me just tell you the settings I had. The Garmin, I just had it on full GPS mode, like what you would normally do in a race, like an ultra or a regular marathon or anything like that. Same thing with the Apple Watch. I had everything on. I had the cellular on. You can see I had headphones. I think I listened to music for about an hour with the Apple Watch, and then maybe a couple of hours on the Garmin. And the only reason I switched over was because I had an eat reminder set on the Garmin, and when I listen to music using the Garmin, the voice comes in and tells me to eat, and I hadn't had that set up in the Apple Watch. Also, I was using the Work Outdoors app, which is why if you see me kind of lift my arm a couple of times, that's not a native app. That's an third-party app. So it doesn't have the always on capability yet. I know they're working on that. So I had to raise my arm a couple of times to get it to turn on, to get it to show the app. If you're just using the normal built-in app from Apple, you don't have that problem. Those are just the specifications. Just wanted to let everybody know that I didn't turn the Apple Watch down. I didn't like reduce its sensitivity. I didn't put it in low power mode. I didn't do any of that. I woke up. I camped there the night before. I woke up, both the watches had been charged the night before. I think in the morning the Apple Watch still had 98%, and the Garmin was, 100% or close to that. It says 10 days. It doesn't actually give you a percentage, at least the way I have it set up. I guess we'll start with the battery life, because I know that's an issue that most people have with it. And the Garmin, it still had like 68%. Like I said, I had the Fenix 6X, which is super long battery life. I know better now, but at the time when I got it, it was kind of one of the best. The Apple Watch went all the way down to 11%, which I know sounds low, but I probably could have gone another hour or more and still had it. I mean, it probably would have died right after I finished, but it was going down. I think you saw when I was at 24, it was still at 60-something%. So I'm not sure why it started going down faster in the second half of the race. But, well, other than I was slowing down, so it probably took me longer. And that wasn't like right at the finish. That was kind of back when I got back to the truck and I looked at it. I remembered to look at it, and it was at 11%. It lasted 8-ish hours, fine. Again, if you were trying to do something 10 or 12 hours, it would definitely be, you might have to change some of the settings. But like I mentioned, I had all the settings on, so I feel like it could do it if you turn the cellular off and you turn the headphones off, or the Wi-Fi or something like that. I don't know how that would affect the accuracy. Which is what I was really surprised about, was how accurate the Apple Watch was. Yeah, you could make some adjustments if you want it to last longer. Again, I've been a Garmin user for 15 years or more. I love Garmin's, and I'm not saying the Apple Watch is better. I'm saying it can do it, because I know a lot of people are very sensitive about this whole thing. I noticed on the first lap that I thought the lap was a little short. The Garmin, I wasn't really checking the Apple Watch. Like I said, I kind of put it on just to see if it could do it. So I wasn't really checking it early in the race. So my first lap was under 4 miles, and so I was like, okay. But I didn't really catch on what was happening until almost halfway through the race. When I crossed the line at 20 miles, the Apple Watch was dead on 20, and the Garmin said like 19 or just under 19. So the final numbers were, for distance, the Apple Watch gave me 40.39 miles, and the Garmin gave me only 38.38 miles. And So that 0.39 extra on the Apple, that could have just been me going to the truck or going to the bathroom once. But even if that was how far it's off, I mean, it was a lot closer than the Garmin was. So what happened was I was trying to break 8 hours. That was my kind of A goal, stretch goal. And with the Garmin, I was under for the first half of the race, and then I was like, oh, I'm slowing down, and I'm really close, and this feels like a lot of work. But then I found out I was going in one of the clips I think you saw. I thought I was going 11:21 pace, and I was going 10:48 pace. I lucked out in that I was able to hold on and still meet that goal. Yeah, I was really surprised. I really thought that the Apple was just doing its own thing, not paying attention. It didn't know what was happening. But I think with all the little switchbacks on the course map, I'll put that up. I think that the Garmin just wasn't tracking as well, and I don't know what the difference is technology-wise. I'm just passing on the information. As far as, so the paces were off, obviously, because of the distance. The Apple had me, for the race, 11:32 pace, which is pretty much what the race results said. And the Garmin had me at 12:08 pace, which would have been slower than the 8-hour cutoff. Or it wasn't a cutoff, it was my goal. Elevation was almost exactly the same on the two watches, 28:14 on the Apple Watch, 28:10 on the Garmin, so 4 feet difference. The only other thing that was a little different was my average. I have a pretty high average heart rate for ultra runners, or in ultra running settings. So Apple Watch had my max heart rate at 187. The Garmin had it at 188, so just one difference there. And then my average for the Apple Watch is 170, with a Garmin said it was 161. I have this weird issue, and I don't know if it's me. I figure it is because I've had several watches that have done this, but the later in the race, my heart rate just kind of drops. And sometimes I'm still going the same pace, so I'm a little baffled by that. I just thought this was an interesting comparison. First of all, the Apple Watch can be out there 8-10 hours, depending on your settings. I know a lot of people are worried about that. I tend not to run too many races that take me that long. Like 50Ks will take me in the 6-hour range. I did a 50-miler in September that took me 11 and a half, or just under that. So that would have been a push for the Apple Watch using the settings I used. But for most of the things, I still use the Garmin, and I'm gonna use it in the 100. I'll use it in long races like this, and I'll probably use it in most race settings just because I'm really familiar with it. But if you're somebody who doesn't have a Garmin and you're just kind of starting out in ultras, or you're not doing, if you're doing 50Ks and that's kind of the limit of how long you're going to be out there, the Apple Watch can do it, and it did it well. So again, I did use a second party app with the Work Outdoors, but if you're just worried about tracking everything, it's going to last. Again, I'm much more comfortable and more familiar with the Garmin experience, but I think if they keep working on third-party apps, then the Apple Watch will get there. I feel like you just have to build up your confidence in order to rely on it. All right, I hope that was helpful. I have a couple of reminders. I am a race ambassador for the Highball to Thurman. They have a 50-mile relay and a 55K. If you're interested in running that race, it's next May in West Virginia. I have a discount code. It's MountainMan10 for 10% off. I don't think I've announced this on the channel, but I have an alter ego. They have these hats, these running hats. Some of them have patches like this that you can put different things on there. But my discount code for that is MountainMan, and that gives you 20% off. I love these hats. I wear hats all the time. Oh, well, running. I never wear hats unless I'm running or on camera. But the thing I like about these hats is they're like waterproof, pretty much. You've got your sweatband in here that traps your sweat and keeps the sweat out of your eyes. But these hats don't soak up, the material doesn't soak up the water, so they don't get heavy and they don't start sliding down your head, or just feeling heavy, or just, if you have to take them off and then put them back on, they're not all drenched. So yeah, I just started wearing these a couple of months ago. I haven't mentioned them on the channel before because I wanted to make sure I liked them before I started endorsing them. But I have probably 4 of them now. The other 3 I just got right before Christmas. They're kind of Christmas themed. So Anyway, if you're interested in that, I'll put the links in the description for both the Highball to Thurman Ultramarathon and the Alter Ego running hats. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Be on the lookout for my Shakori 40 miler full video. I'm working with Scott from Scott Runs and stuff. So we're taking our time kind of collaborating, sharing footage and putting that together. But hopefully that should be out in the next week or two. Other than that, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much.